Hello, everyone. Before we jump into this episode, I want to share that I am hosting a free workshop on Saturday, January 25th at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to go into breaking down the exact steps and a blueprint that will get you feeling from bloated and struggling to zip up your pants to seeing that scale move, feeling confident in your clothes, and no longer having to unbutton your jeans at the end of the day. So, I'm going to show you exactly how to drop 5 to 7 pounds by reducing inflammation without extra cardio and without cutting carbs. So if you've been struggling with stubborn weight gain, you're having a constant bloating, or you just feel exhausted all the time, this workshop is for you. The link to sign up is in the show notes, and if you can't make it live, sign up anyway, because I will be sending out a replay to everyone, because I want everyone to have the steps to make them feel better, especially after the holidays. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to the Fit Chicks and Hormone Podcast. My name is Angie Marone, and I am a holistic hormone health practitioner, and I am the owner of a women's only fitness studio called Fit Chick Express. Today, we are talking about the number one complaint that I hear from women that I talk to all the time, and that is bloating, right? And for some women, it just happened overnight, and they can't even explain why it happened. So if you've ever wondered why your belly feels flat when you wake up, but you look 6 months pregnant by bedtime, or maybe you even wake up already bloated before you've even eaten anything, this episode is for you. I'm going to talk about what's really happening in your body, why this menopausal transition is making it worse, lucky us, and most importantly, what you can do about it. So first I want to talk about the two different types of bloating, right? Let's understand that these may be different and may be happening for two different reasons. So morning bloating is when you wake up feeling puffy, your stomach is already feeling, distended, your rings may feel tight, you may not be able to get them off, your face looks puffy and swollen, your belly, you kind of already feel uncomfortable in your stomach even before you've even eaten anything. This type of bloating is usually about what happened overnight while you were sleeping. And the next one is evening bloating. This is that progressive balloon effect, right? You wake up feeling like your stomach's nice and flat, and you put on those clothes, but as the day goes on, you feel your pants getting tighter. By the end of the eating, you're uncomfortable, your clothes feel tight, so you jump into leggings if you haven't already been wearing them. And you might even look maybe 6 months pregnant. So this is the overall bloating that is happening throughout your day, okay? So let's break down why each one happens and what you can do to address it, because I know that's really what we all want to know about, right? So first, let's talk about why you wake up bloated. So this is that wake up in the morning and your stomach's already distended. You're already feeling full. Your clothes are already tight. And this is happening because of hormonal fluid retention, especially during menopause and perimenopause. When your estrogen is fluctuating, when it's jumping all over or it's dropping down, it affects how your body manages sodium and water balance. You might be retaining fluid overnight, which shows up as puffiness in your face, your hands, and your belly, okay? The next is cortisol dysregulation. I talk about this a lot, right? This plays a huge role as well. So if your cortisol rhythm is off, meaning your stress hormone isn't following its natural pattern of being low at night and rising in the morning, you can wake up with inflammation and bloating. This is especially common if you are under chronic stress and you're not sleeping well and you're not managing either one of them, okay? Another thing would be digestive issues from the night before. If you ate late or had a really large meal, especially a meal full of heavy protein or a lot of vegetables, which you need, but you consumed foods that fermented in your gut, you're going to wake up with your body hasn't properly digested those things yet. So that fermentation process produces gas, and it has to go somewhere, so it blows up your stomach, okay? Another one is constipation. If you're not having regular bowel movements, you're carrying waste material that's literally taking up space and creating pressure in your abdomen. This pressure doesn't go away while you sleep. So if you wake up and you didn't have a bowel movement the day before, you might be feeling full and bloated because of that, right? And then when you lay down at night, fluid that pooled in your legs, because that's what happens, right? We're laying down. Fluid that pooled in your legs during the day distributes throughout your body, including your abdomen. So if your lymphatic system isn't draining efficiently, you wake up puffy, right? And a lot of us have sluggish lymphatic systems. I work on mine all the time with dry skin brushing. If you're not doing it, do it, ladies, do it. So that's why you may be bloating when you wake up in the morning. So now let's talk about why you're bloated by the end of the day. So if you wake up and you feel pretty good, but as the day goes on, your belly gets bigger, you're feeling more uncomfortable, here's probably what is happening. So your digestive enzymes as you age are getting less and less. So your body's producing fewer enzymes, and your stomach acid may be lower. This means that the food that you're eating isn't breaking down as efficiently, which leads to fermentation and gas production throughout the day. So just think about this. That food, especially if you're not having a bowel movement, it's just sitting in your stomach and fermenting, which is going to cause gas, right? Gas bubbles. That's going to cause bloating. It's going to make your stomach distend. So each meal that you eat throughout the day, if your body isn't properly digesting it, it's going to just continue to build up. And as it accumulates and eating throughout, if you're eating like 3, 4, or 5 times throughout the day, and your digestion is even slightly sluggish, it's just going to add more undigested food, more gas, and more distension. And then by the evening, you're just looking like you're 6 months pregnant, right? Another thing could be swallowing air. And this sounds crazy, but a lot of us, myself, I used to included, drink through straws, right? When you're drinking through straw, you're swallowing some air. If you eat quickly, you're swallowing air. If you talk while you're eating, you're swallowing air. If you chew gum, or even if you breathe through your mouth, you're swallowing air all day long. This air has to go somewhere, and it often gets trapped in your digestive system. Every time I chew gum, I get gassy. So I have no longer, plus it has artificial sweeteners and stuff in it, and that doesn't work, so that makes me gassy and bloaty. So no more gum for me. I choose mints. I also do not drink any more straws, plus it also adds to these little lines that I don't want more of, so no more drinking through straws for me anymore. But those things, again, you're swallowing air, it's going to get trapped in your stomach, and you're going to be bloated. Another thing could be food sensitivities or intolerances. You know me, I talk about this all the time, and this becomes more apparent as we age. You maybe have eaten gluten, dairy, other foods your whole life, but during menopause, your gut becomes more reactive. And this is why I tell women, and they say to me, you know what, I've been eating dairy my life. I've never had a problem. I've never had a problem with gluten. Right. But in perimenopause and menopause, your body is different. And these foods can cause inflammation and gas that builds up throughout the day. So bad seed oils can make me feel like really gassy and bloated. And most restaurants use these when they cook food. So it's very hard for me to eat out without getting gassy or bloated. But I do take an enzyme and that helps. I'll talk about that in a second. And then slow motility is when your digestive system isn't moving things through it efficiently. This can be due to low progesterone, which is happening, perimenopause and menopause, right? And then postmenopausal, it's tanked. This affects your gut muscle movement. Inadequate fiber. Many women are not eating enough fiber. I have my clients track. Some days they're eating like 7 to 10 grams of fiber. You're supposed to be eating 25 to 30, right? So you have to... and women don't eat many vegetables. Like, we need to eat more vegetables. You need more fiber. Dehydration. A lot of my clients struggle with drinking their water. You need more water. Or lack of physical movement during the day. Okay? These things are all going to slow down your digestive system. Okay? And when your food moves slowly, it ferments more, creating more gas. Salt and processed foods, yes, these cause progressive water retention. This is, again, something I notice when I eat out, right? And you may notice it as well if you don't eat out often. If you're eating foods high in sodium throughout the day, your body holds on to water to dilute that sodium. And by evening, you're carrying extra fluid weight that shows up as bloating. Okay, so it's the salt and the processed foods. It's by eating out at restaurants. It's by eating a bunch of packaged foods that has a bunch of salt in it. This is why I always tell my clients, we're getting rid of the processed foods. You need to add electrolytes back in because you do need some salt, just not the salt overload that comes from those processed foods. And let's not forget about stress and cortisol. When you are stressed, your body diverts blood away from your digestive system. Chronic stress throughout the day means chronic poor digestion, which equals more bloating. Do you see a pattern here? Right? And lucky for us, as we go through perimenopause and menopause, all of this gets worse. This is why you may not have experienced bloating before, but now you're like, every single day, I got it going on. Okay? Why in perimenopause and menopause? Well, estrogen fluctuations cause havoc on our fluid balance. So when estrogen spikes, you retain water. When it drops, you get constipated. During menopause, these spikes are going like this, means unpredictable bloating patterns. And when it drops down, as it does menopause into postmenopause, and you have no estrogen or very low estrogen, you get constipated. What did I just say? When you don't have a bowel movement, you don't remove it, it stays in your gut and ferments, okay? Progesterone decline is crucial because progesterone helps your gut muscles contract and move food through. As you're going through perimenopause, menopause, your progesterone is lowering, and that means slower digestion and more bloating, okay? I talked about this, the declining stomach acid and enzymes. These happen naturally with age. This is why I tell women you need to be taking enzymes, because no matter what, your body doesn't have the enzymes it used to, the stomach acid it used to. You need to support it with some. So your body is actually struggling to digest foods. And if we're trying to add more fiber, trying to add more protein, as we need to do, it's going to be harder for it to break it down. Then we become constipated, and then we have more bloating. See this vicious cycle that's happening, right? Another thing is gut microbiome changes occur during menopause. The beneficial bacteria in your gut are influenced by your hormones. As your hormones shift, your microbiome can become imbalanced. This leads to more gas-producing bacteria and more bloating. This also can change with you're taking lots of over-the-counter medications. If you're taking a lot of antibiotics, right? These are all going to change your gut microbiome. So we need to support that with probiotics, with more enzymes to digest. And then stress and cortisol, they just get worse as we age. You might be dealing with aging parents. You have teenagers. You have a lot of going on with your career, physical stress of hormonal changes. All of this affects your gut, because do you ever notice that when you're stressed out that you either want to eat a bunch of junk food or you don't want to eat at all? That's because your stomach is affecting the way your brain is reacting, okay? So now, what can we do about it? Excuse me. So for the morning bloating, we want to start with what happens at the end of our day, okay? So start by stopping to eat about 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. If for some reason you can't, make sure that you maybe do like 20 squats, something to just kind of help with your digestion. Just move. So don't eat a big meal or eat right before bed and then go into bed. That's not going to help. So 2 to 3 hours, try to eat your dinner before that. This gives your body time to digest before you lay down. And take a magnesium supplement at night. This is going to help your digestion. This is going to help with cortisol. It's going to help with stress. It's going to help with sleep. If you want to know which one that I recommend to my clients, reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, and I will share that with you gladly. This is one thing, magnesium, that I have all my clients on and that I take. I even have my husband taking. We also need to address the constipation, right? You should be having at least one complete bowel movement every single day, ideally in the morning. You should have it right away in the morning, or maybe even right after you eat breakfast. So you need to start increasing your fiber. Don't go from 10 grams to 30 grams. Slowly try to add more fiber throughout a couple weeks, so you're hitting that 25 to 35 grams every single day. If you're not sure, track it. That's how you know, right? Don't guess. Drink plenty of water. We want to constantly be flushing everything through our system. Otherwise, you become dehydrated. And if you need to, you could take a magnesium citrate, however you want to say it. This will help. So there's 6 to 8, there are maybe even more different types of magnesiums. Magnesium glycinate is the one for sleep and for stress. And magnesium citrate can help you go to the bathroom. You just don't want to overuse it so that your body doesn't learn how to go to the bathroom on its own. Don't take a laxative. Try magnesium citrate first, or reach out to me and I'll help you figure that out, okay? And then something you can do is elevate your legs on the wall before you go to bed, about 15 minutes. This will help drain fluid from your lower body from laying down all night. This also helps with sleep. I've had so many of my clients do this because we talked about it for lowering cortisol and helping with sleep, and they've also noticed their sleep is better. So a 2-for-1. All you gotta do is lay legs up the wall for 15 minutes while you're watching TV before you go to bed. And reduce your sodium intake. Remember, processed foods, so get rid of those because they have a lot of sodium in them, and especially in the evening. Your body doesn't need all the extra salt right before you go to bed because it's just going to retain fluid and you're going to wake up feeling even more puffy. Okay, so that's how you start the night before so you can wake up feeling less bloated. So what about this as throughout the day bloating that happens, right? And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and by the end of the night you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so uncomfortable, I can't even sit down. So what we want to do is support your digestive enzymes. As I mentioned, I have all of my clients take a digestive enzyme supplement with 2 to 3 meals. Okay? Especially when they're eating out or eating lots of vegetables. I'll go into that in a second. But you take I would probably recommend taking a enzyme at lunch and dinner. You can do it at breakfast and lunch, whatever. I would definitely do 2 meals, but most of us tend to eat our heavier meals toward the end of the day. So I think that's when we need to make sure that we're taking those enzymes. That's going to help your body break down the foods so that it doesn't just sit in your stomach, okay? When you're eating, chew your food. Now, I'm guilty of this. When I'm at the studio, I'm shoveling my food and trying to eat so fast. Even at home, sometimes I'm like shoveling in my food. I don't know why. There's no hurry. At the studio, sometimes I may have clients coming, so I need to adjust that. But when you are shoveling the food in your mouth and you're barely chewing it, first of all, you're swallowing big chunks, which is harder for it to digest, right? And also you're swallowing air, and you're just not really thinking about what you're doing. And so that is going to make you gassy and bloated. So slow down, put your fork down, chew your food, make sure it's well chewed before you swallow it. Okay. And then you want to identify what your trigger foods may be. So common things, I talk about these a lot, would be gluten, dairy, beans. People love beans, and that's fine. I cannot do beans. I will first of all be stinky and blow up horribly. So if you're eating beans, you may want to get rid of them and try something else, because if they're causing a lot of gas and bloating, that could be a culprit. Cruciferous vegetables, yes, we need them. We need them. They are so important for removing estrogen from your body, but they're harder to break down, especially if you haven't been eating a lot of them. So chew them well. If I chew my Brussels sprouts and my broccoli and my cauliflower really well, it doesn't affect me. If I take an enzyme with them, it doesn't affect me. If I chew them really fast and swallow them, or I don't take an enzyme, sometimes that's going to cause gas and bloating for me, okay? So like I said, the gluten, the dairy, beans, cruciferous vegetables, bad seed oils, artificial sweeteners. I learned the hard way that I absolutely love the Skinny Dip dark chocolate bites. Like, I was addicted to them, which probably it's a good thing that I'm not eating them. But they have palm kernel oil, which is the bad seed oil, and they have chicory root fiber, which is how they sweeten them. And if I ate them too fast or ate more than one, big time gas and bloating. Not good. So no more of those. So again, you just have to be aware and figure what these things out. So what you can do is try eliminating something for a week or two to see if your bloating improves. So if you think maybe it's beans because you eat beans often, cut them out for a week or two, see if it's better. Great. If not, try something else, right? Make sure that you're staying hydrated. I talked about this again. I would say 60 to 80 ounces is a good amount to have. Even more if you can, but 60 to 80 ounces is a really good amount of water that you should be drinking to flush everything out. It can help reduce water retention. It can help with your digestion. Here's a little thing, a caveat to that. Do not drink water with your meals. Do not drink any type of liquid with your meals. I would stop drinking liquid about 15 minutes before you're going to eat your meal, because you're going to flush out all those enzymes that are going to break down the food. So if you get rid of them, they aren't going to be able to break down the food. Also, after you eat about 10 to 15 minutes, do not drink anything. Now, if you just want to take a little sip here and there, but don't chug any water or milk or whatever you're drinking, right? Wait till a few minutes after so your body can digest the food, and then you can drink some water. This is something that I've shared with my clients, and they're like, I didn't even know that, but it's a really good thing to put into practice. Next thing you want to do is move your body regularly. I talk about this a lot. Just get up and move for 10 minutes after your meal. This can help stimulate digestion and reduce the gas buildup. So go for a walk for 10 minutes, or as I mentioned, do 20 squats or do a minute worth of squats. Just moving your body. Sometimes I just walk around my kitchen, walk around my living room after my meal. It's better than just going and sitting on the couch and letting that food just sit, right? Get some type of movement to help stimulate your digestion. And then manage your stress. And I know this is easier said than done, but doing things like just deep breathing. I have a client right now, her goal is 3 minutes of deep breathing throughout her day. That's it. Because I want her to do something to manage her stress, to keep her body in a calmer state. That'll help with digestion. You could also just take, let's say, 3 to 4 deep breaths before you eat. That will also help with digestion. Like, these are so simple, the simplest things, if you remember them, to do, that are going to help you from and help get rid of that bloating. Okay. Some things to help both types of bloating, right? So consider supporting your gut microbiome with probiotic rich foods like sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. Sometimes I'm addicted to it. Kimchi or kefir, or a quality probiotic supplement. The enzyme that I recommend that I have my clients take, there is a prebiotic and a probiotic in it. So it's like a triple whammy. It's good for all the things, right? So again, if you want to know what that is that I use with my clients, reach out to me and ask me, and I will send that to you gladly. Because I've found that there's so many women that are like, oh my God, I can't believe it's like day and night by taking this. And I know there are so many supplements that are advertised for bloating and gas and women in menopause and get rid of this and that. And they cost 3 times the amount of this one. So if you want one that's very effective but more affordable, let me know. And I would suggest, if you have not, keep a food journal. So write down what you're eating. Or if you eat a meal and within 15, 20 minutes or an hour afterwards, you're really gassing, bloated, write down what you ate and just keep note of that. And then the next time it happens with another meal, write down and see if you can discover what foods are causing that gas or bloating, right? Pay attention, because you'd be like, oh, I had broccoli at all these meals. That must be it. I need to chew it better, or maybe I need to take an enzyme because we don't want to get rid of it. Or maybe just try a different green vegetable, right? This is the best way to figure out what your triggers are, okay? So here's, sorry, still getting over that, this cold stuff that I had over the holidays. So bloating is not something that you have to live with, because I've helped many of my clients. Like, that was the biggest thing. They come to me like, I just want to get rid of the bloating. I'll feel so much better if I can just get rid of the bloating, because I know, I remember, and I can relate to how uncomfortable it feels and how awful it is. When that happens, when you get rid of it, you just feel better that you can do so much more, right? So you don't have to live with it. What's happening is your body is giving you information about what's not working. So whether you're waking up feeling bloated or you feel like a big old balloon in your belly by the end of the day, you can take some action steps to help you to feel better. All the things that I talked about, right? Start with 1 or 2 things that I talked about in today's episode. And if you forgot, go back and listen again. Or I'll give you some information in just a second here. And give some of those things a couple weeks to see if they change. Because remember, your body is in a different place right now. You're not going to make a change in one day and it's going to feel better. It's just not how it works. Just kind of like you're not going to change your whole lifestyle one day and you're going to lose 20 pounds. It just doesn't work like that. It's a little bit longer. Your body has to be like, oh, I see what's happening here. Now I can respond, okay? If for some reason your bloating is really bad, make sure you go, talk to somebody or reach out to me and I'll see if I can give you some suggestions. If you've tried everything that I talked about, you're still experiencing that, let me know. I can help you with that. And here. So if you're like, okay, like my clients or like women that come to me, I'm just tired of this bloating and I feel like I'm gaining weight. I feel like I'm so uncomfortable. Sign up for my workshop, right? This is going to teach you how to lose 5 to 7 pounds and get rid of the bloating from inflammation. And you're not going to have to do extra cardio and you're not going to have to cut carbs. Actually, I'll probably make you eat a little bit more carbs because there's fiber in there and your body needs that, right? So I'm going to share all the things that are causing your bloating. So here I just kind of skimmed over them, and give you a straightforward plan to help you get rid of that belly bloat and fit nicely into your jeans all day long. You can wear your jeans again. You don't have to slip into those leggings, or you don't have to wear leggings every day. You can wear some jeans. You can feel confident and feel good and comfortable all day long. Okay. Again, that's the link to sign up is in the show notes, so make sure you click that and save that, and send it to a friend. Right? If you found this useful, please leave a review. Reviews help me to get this out to more people, and keep doing this for free. Share it with others. Share it with somebody that you know has been complaining about bloating or whatever's going on. And if you share it on social media, tag me in that. I have a special gift for you. If you do that, tag me and I will reach out to you. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate you here and tuning in and listening, and I will see you next time. I hope this episode today resonated with you, and if it did, I would love for you to share it on your stories and tag me on Instagram or Facebook. A review would be appreciated too. Your reviews and shares not only help us to grow, but they give other women who are struggling through their menopausal years hope that they don't have to continue living the way that they do. Your questions and experiences are also so helpful in giving me subjects to talk about. So feel free to reach out to me anytime on Facebook or Instagram with anything. I would love to help.